Hello everybody and welcome to my new Sunday market breakdown. As usually, we start on the DXY and we start on the daily. So what can we still see on the DXY? We can still see we have here a clear impulse. So we had that impulse last week, last weeks, and then I was speaking about this range that we could break out of. So these highs here and these lows, you were sitting in that range, and you could see you had here a false break. We grabbed some new liquidity and we went to the upside. So, and this was the target we could go to, what I was saying. So now the important thing is that we come now from that impulse correctively back, because now you have that clear bullish M here, first leg here, second leg, third leg, potential fourth leg coming corrective because this daily candle is really closing bullish. This is indicating me the bulls are present. So now that we are at that weekly selling zone, potentially, we can have now that correction. Or if you have now that very big impulse to the downside, then it could be again a false break to grab here the liquidity for more downside momentum and back again to this weekly buying zone. So we can be stuck again then in this range. That's possible. So if I go to the weekly, it's more clear why we are in a range. So for me, this was our previous lower high, lower low, and we broke out of it with a new high. This is a clear impulse for me, and this is a clear, more corrective state of the market. So in that, so for me, that is a bullish sign. This is really massive. I think it's just bullish candles. All of them are bullish candles, bullish candles, bullish candles, and here are blue and red candles. So this is a more corrective state of the market for me. So what can we further also see is that we have here this bearish W potentially playing against us, and now we are at this highs of this bearish W. So for me, the market doesn't know what it wants to do now. That's why it has some struggles now between here, these lows, where the buyers are kicking in from, and now we can have here sellers. So this is a zone where the price can be stuck in, or if the bulls on the daily will take over now, then they can go to the upside and make the potential shoulder one head resistance in the head here, shoulder two with here that bigger shoulder one head, shoulder two playing out for a moment. So yeah, for me, the market structure here is for me bullish. So for me, it's still impulsive. And yeah, the institutes and banks like to push more the DXY to the upside for now. So for me, it's bullish. The only thing from this bearish W is that this third leg is more aggressive to the downside than this fourth leg. This came back in 3 days, and here one, two, three, four, five. So this can potentially reversing back till here to grab new liquidity or these weekly lows potentially. That depends on the daily, what the DXY will do there. So, and the candle close for me here is also bullish, and a flip from this low till this high is also bullish. You can also say it's in between. You can also say, yeah, it's neutral because you have a flip for you and a flip against you. Supply and demand is against us, so 2 out of 4. So the daily, if we have a correction after that impulse, then it would be nice to see that, and then we can go and make this potential shoulder one here, head shoulder two, and have liquidity again from that weekly to go back to the upside. That's what I can see. So then my first trade, I'm looking at Nzdusd. So this trade is a potential head and shoulders that can play out on the daily. Shoulder one here, head, double top here, shoulder two potentially impulse, potential correction as we had here, impulse, potential correction here, which we had here. So I would like to see a more corrective state of the market here, or a potential diesel that comes impulsively back with one candle, so that would be nice. If I look on the weekly, what can we see on the weekly? For me, the trend is still bullish because yet here your bullish M still in play. For me, it's a break of structure, but that doesn't mean that the trend is changed for now. That doesn't mean it is confirmed change because it can also be again a false break and then going back up. Yeah, that's possible. So for me, the thing here is on that weekly is that nice candle close. So this red candle that grabbed here some liquidity and we went to the downside. So this is for us. Then the fib from this high to this low is not touching the 61.8. It was here, I guess something like that. So it is not tapping that. And then the supply and demand, so this acting as clear support. So this was our higher low, higher high. We broke this and we acted as resistance. So this is a clear break and retest. We broke it and we retested it. So this is a clear supply and demand zone. So this is acting as resistance. So this can push the price to the downside till this monthly shoulder one, head, shoulder two. As you can see on the monthly, you can see this as a potential shoulder one, this as your head, shoulder two here aligning with the supply and demand on that monthly. So I think the price can go and grab here some liquidity and then we can see if we can potentially make that shoulder one here, head, shoulder two. That's the thing I can see right now for the moment. So yes. So I want to see here on the daily that shoulder one getting tapped and then a diesel or pattern or something. And on the 4 hour, you can see it's really impulsive. You can see the bears kicking in with only two 4 hour candles and it's closing here. So yeah, I can see now some corrective nature, maybe fib completion aligning there. That's possible. So then get CHF on the daily. I'm still looking for a short, and you can see what we can potentially have is here that first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg coming back, more corrective impulse, correction, impulse, potential fib completion here. If you take a fib from this low to this high, fib completion aligning there also. Um, so it's possible. So these are bearish W and the major daily trend is also bearish because you have here this high, low, high, new low. So actually this is actually a weekly bearish W here in play. Normally if I look on a weekly, you can see this is your bearish W on that weekly. And we tapped also that shoulder one here at shoulder two. So this is a pattern within a pattern aligning there. So on the daily, we grabbed now the daily liquidity zone or we touched this daily zone of interest. So now we can look for a pattern. So if I go back to the weekly, what can we see over 3 out of 4? So for me, the trend was bearish. So you have your high, low, high, lower, low. We have this bearish W here. So the trend is bearish. Candle close is against us because it's really bullish. So this is against us. Fib from this high here. So if I draw a fib from this high to this low, it's between the fib levels. So this is okay. So we have right now 2 out of 4, and then the supply and demand zone, this acting as resistance, support, resistance, resistance here, support here. And if you look further back, there is nothing to see anymore. So it's a supply and demand zone because you have here a pattern within a pattern acting here as support when we are above here resistance, resistance again, resistance. So that's really nice to see this nice supply and demand zone. So 3 out of 4. So the daily was for us clear. So I will delete this. The daily was for us clear. This bearish W. We touch the daily zone of interest. Then on the 4 hour, I can see we have a potential diesel. So we have already tapped this with 1, 2 candles and we will open this. So there's a potential candle that will close like this here. And then you can take a diesel to the downside. This is where I'm looking at for the moment. You can also have here a fib completion from this low here to this high. You have here a fib completion, which is also possible. So you have here 1, 2, 3, then the fourth leg going back, and then a fifth fib completion aligning there. So this is a possibility. Then here Gbpchf. So this is also a CHF pair, so you need to be careful, but this one is also looking really nice. So on the daily, what can we see? We have bearish W still, we have a first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, and we drew our zone at the daily first structure that was first support, which can become resistance. And yeah, I want to see a tap of that. So we are now coming back with two daily candle, bullish candle closes. So for me, I want to see that correction, tapping this, and then a potential pattern on the 4 hours. So if I go on the weekly, what can we see? We have a weekly descending trend line holding the price down. Very nice. We have our first touch, second touch, third touch, and then we can go to the downside. Then we can see also clear impulses and corrections. So for me, this was a clear impulse, then this was one correction with a double top. Then here impulse, this can be your correction. Then we can go to the downside. So for me, the only thing that is against us here is that candle close. So this candle close is closing a little bit bullish because it's rejecting from this zone. And if we look on this zone, why did we reverse there? Because nothing really much to see actually. So there is maybe something on a daily that was here. Yeah, this zone here was acting as support here. So this zone was acting as support. So on the weekly, again, we have a 3 out of 4. The trend is for us. So the trend is bearish W here is for us. Then the candle close is against us. Fib from this high till this low is for us. And the supply demand from here acting as support, support, support here, all support wicks, which acted as resistance here. So it's a clear supply demand zone for me. So it's a 3 out of 4 to go short. So if I go on the 4 hour now, on the 4 hour, you could see the price was slowing down. It was here in a descending channel coming to the downside. And now we broke a little bit out of it. And now then we tapped the beginning of correction here. So we tapped the beginning of correction. So now everything is possible. So we can go to the upside or also to the downside. This is a possibility, but I think we can tap that daily zone of interest first because we need to have after an impulse or after a sprint, the sprinter got tired, so they need to have some breath, rest or relief to have again that impulse to the downside. So this was Gbpchf. Then the last one, Gbpnzd. So be careful. I have two GBP pairs and also two CHF pairs, so you need to choose a little bit, or if it's followed by your plan that you choose two the same currency pairs, then it's okay. So if I look on a daily, we have still that pattern in a pattern. So you have here your first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, bearish W, we tap the daily highs. Normally you had also here your shoulder one, had shoulder two here, but we went again to the upside here and we tapped the daily high. So for me, it's still valid because we have now found some new liquidity at these daily highs. So that's nice. So we can potentially look for a pattern there. So if I go now to the weekly, what can we see on the weekly? On the weekly, we have everything for us except our candle close. Our candle close is really closing bullish. Why is that? Because if you draw your horizontal line here, you could see this was potentially acting as support here, which was support here, also support, which were kicking some buyers in and here resistance. So that's the logical thing why the market went to the upside because it found some liquidity and support at this level. So what we are still seeing is that we are still bearish. We have this first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg. This is still bearish. This is for us. The candle close, this one is against us. So this was really closing bullish. And the fib from this high to this low is for us. So we have a fib and the supply and demand on this selling zone got tapped. As you can see, the sellers are present there potentially again. So it's a 3 out of 4 to go short. So the daily was clear. We have here a pattern within a pattern. We tapped the daily lower high and we grabbed the new liquidity so we can go back to the downside. And you can see here clear impulse correction impulse, correction, potential impulse. So then on the 4 hour, what can we see? You can see it also more clear. You have here your impulse from the daily, and now you can see the 4 hour correction tapping. And back then here we had the entry on this zone for that pattern within a pattern. That limit was set, and we went 2.5%. We took some profits out, and then we went back up to grab that new liquidity from these daily highs. And now we can potentially make a D cell or go back again higher to make a pattern. Who knows? But this is what I can see. So for this upcoming week, these are the trades. I hope you liked it, and see you next week. Bye.